Okay, so I'm hanging out with some new friends at college that I met during my sophomore year, and they're a really nice group of people. They're some of the nicest people I've ever met, and that's why I started hanging out with them. Just incredibly accepting. I hadn't had a large friend group away from home while I was at college. I had another small one, and I'd always sort of been looking for a larger friend group because I never had the opportunity to have one when I was a kid.
When you had the smaller one, was it you, Diego,
And David.
and David, and what about the other guys? There were a few more in there,
I mean, it was basically just me, Diego, and David, and then me and Diego during my sophomore year when
and
David.
never you and David hanging out together.
Yeah, David wasn't there during our sophomore year, which is why I mentioned that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he had to go back home. So Diego and I roomed together, and I wanted to go out still, kind of, because David was always the force for us going out socially during our freshman year. And
Diego's not big into that.
yeah, Diego would rather kind of stay home to himself, which I can understand. Like, it's where he feels the most comfortable, but it's not really something that I wanted to just do during my sophomore year. I wanted to take advantage of the fact that I was in a place like college to meet people.
I take it
So
as like kind of like sorry, but I take it as like it's kind of it's his safe place, and I think it's your safe place too. It's just that you consciously want to break out of that, but he didn't care, right?
yeah, he just it doesn't it's not a super huge concern for him. He would
Gotcha.
rather he would rather just be where he feels comfortable.
Yeah.
Whereas, I draw energy from being alone and having time to myself, but I also do seek human companionship socially outside of video games. I'm not sure exactly why that is, but it's true. So I met these people through me doing improv. I made friends with a guy on improv named Russ, and then I made friends with Russ's friend Henry, um, and then I made friends with Henry's friends. I started hanging out with them, and during the end of my sophomore year, Henry's friends were the people who made me feel not so bad about basically just failing that year at the end. Basically,
You
after
feel
after
worse?
I I pretty much failed, not absolutely completely, but functionally, I failed almost every class that semester.
I
And
know. Did they fail worse, or did they make just comfort
they,
you?
oh, they made me feel better about it. Or they didn't know, but I was incredibly depressed when I started hanging out with them. And so I was able to sort of, I don't know, gain confidence maybe, but also gain companionship through them that I wasn't finding elsewhere in my life. Um, So I was happy. I was happy to be hanging out with them. And during the first semester of my junior year, I kept on hanging out with them. Uh, and I would go hang at one of their houses on the weekends, generally. And everyone would get together. We all drink and, you know, uh, do things besides drinking that aren't really legal, but
PCP. Yeah.
exist in a gray area. No, not angel dust for me, but
Some At some point we'll have to try that.
no, probably not. I have a list of things that I'm not going to do.
We'll all
Definitely.
get wet. It'll be great.
So I'd hang out with them, and we had a lot of fun. But one of their friends came back, a guy who had roomed with one of the guys of the group, and I won't say his name, but he ended up serving in the military, or is serving in the military now. And the first time that I met him, he was coming for Christmas, for the holidays, to meet everyone, or not meet everyone, but to see everyone again because he
Yeah.
was on leave. And he was telling everyone that he was going to have to go to Afghanistan, um, which sucks. Like shit, you're gonna have to go to Afghanistan. Like, and it wasn't just that he was going to Afghanistan, but he's going to a very dangerous part of Afghanistan, and he's a medic. Um, so his situation isn't great in his life, and everyone was listening and like, wow, that really sucks, man. But like, good luck. And if you need anything, we'll all be here. We'll send letters, give us an address, because that's the kind of people they are. And I go over and I talk with him. I'm like, hey man, if you need any help with anything, just let me know. Like, I know we don't know each other well, um, but I'm Kirby. Nice to meet you. And he was like, yeah, I'm Tommy. Nice to meet you too. And I guess I wasn't going to say his name, but I have now. Uh,
Tommy?
yeah.
Okay. I don't know his
So
last name, so no big deal.
yeah. So anyway, um, I meet Tommy, and the whole time that he's hanging out, I'm not like um, afraid to talk to him or anything like that, but it's sort of the kind of social situation where it seems like he wants to be talking with his friends because he's on leave, you know? And I don't want to get in the way of that because I'm sort of a new addition to their group of people. So he doesn't really know me. And while I've definitely been hanging out with them very frequently before this, he has no idea that I've been hanging out with them frequently before this. So I could just be a random person who was there. And they certainly had random people over every weekend. Um, so I don't really talk to him all that much that time. I was just pleasant and just hung out and sort of said my piece and tried not to get in the way of him, of his show, you know, because that night was about him. Uh, but the next time that I see him, um, after that, he's just finished training, I think, he's going to end up going. Like he's got maybe a month or two before deployment, or a month. I don't know, whatever it was. It's closer than last time. I say, "Hey man, how are you going? How are you doing?" And like reach over to give him a high five, or not like a high five, but like just a handshake, one of those things that people do, acknowledging his presence. And
Yeah.
I was like, "Hey man," he was like, "We're not friends."
The fuck?
Yeah, he's like, "I don't know you, man. Like, don't basically don't act like you know me, because I don't know you." And I was kind of, you know, thrown off because I hadn't said anything to him, you know. I hadn't been shown any ill will toward him or anything like that. I'd been nothing but welcoming. Not that it was my place to welcome him because I'm new to the group, but at the same time, I'm just trying to show him like I was being friendly. I guess is the point. Um, so it was strange for me to get that kind of reception. I usually don't ever get that from people. And I'd talked to one of the people before about the guy uh, some months prior because he'd roomed with him, as I said. And I was sort of just asking about people that he knew and people who used to be in the group. He was like, "Yeah, there's this one guy, and he's sort of an asshole, but you know everyone loves him. He's only an asshole till you get to know him." So I figured, okay, this guy is just being an asshole, basically, because I don't know him very well yet. And so I kind of file it away and just sort of try and avoid him for the rest of the night. And that works pretty okay. I don't make any headway toward becoming friends with him, and it's still sort of awkward when I see him. Uh, but nothing really goes wrong. And then I think it's a month later. It's pretty close to deployment. Like maybe he's a few days away, and that's the night that we're doing something, not drinking. So I'm in a pretty weird state of mind already. And, you know, he's sort of alpha mailing around doing that whole thing. And he sees me sitting on the couch, like minding my own business, just having a good time, spacing out on whatever I'm spacing out on. and
2CI.
no, not
Oh,
particularly this time. Uh, Something else.
okay.
And he like takes my hands and tries to like dance with me, which is weird. And it was weird for me too because I didn't like realize what was going on. But he was like sort of trying to box step with me, but I was so fucked up out of my head that I couldn't do anything. Like I couldn't box step with the guy. So I just stepped on his feet and made an ass of myself. Uh, and he was like, he was looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know? Um, I don't know. It was just this really awkward situation. I've thought about it a lot. I don't think I've done anything wrong at all, and nothing to make this guy dislike me. I think the only thing that I did to make him dislike me was join the group while he was gone, and like not take his place, but certainly have people there like me. You know, I wasn't trying to like take his group of friends or anything like that, but it was certainly the vibe I was getting that he felt I was. I wasn't trying to upstage him or anything like that either. So um, I don't know. It's just a very awkward experience. I've never had a good time hanging out with that guy, and everyone else in that group is great. All the other people are really, really nice. Um,
Is the guy who has The Last of Us, but you didn't want to go over to his house because it would seem like you're going there just to play The Last of Us, part of that group?
he's another one of Henry's friends, but he's not part of that friend group. He's from the improv friend group, and I
Oh,
know him from improv too. So like we performed together, but we were never really close as friends.
I think you should really like the highest priority in your life right now should be getting to be better friends with that guy so you can go play The Last of Us.
Well, I don't go to school there anymore.
Oh, yeah, I guess it's kind of a little far away.
Yeah. I mean, Morgan's gonna maybe have an apartment this year, depending on if she can get one or not. Um, but I still wouldn't, want to just go over to his house to play The Last of Us. Also, I think he graduated,
Oh,
so
you
that's another.
wouldn't want to, but then once you were doing it, you'd be happy about it.
I mean, maybe I'd be happy about playing it, but it just sort of sends off the wrong signal.
Yeah, I got you. So anyway, that guy, uh, yeah, that guy,
Yeah, whatever his name is, even though I already said it once.
kind of, kind of weird.
Yeah, it's just really, really strange. Like, I don't know. My older brother can get that way sometimes, but
Macho asshole, or
sort of, yeah. Like just a strange conception of what an older brother is supposed to be to their younger brother, I guess. Uh, but this guy certainly reminded me of the more unpleasant times I've had to deal with my older brother. Just, I don't want to say that he's a territorial asshole, but that was the vibe that I was getting.
that sucks.
Yeah, it really sucks. It really, really sucks. Because now every time that he's there as a social encounter, I sort of feel this need to avoid him.
So
He made it pretty clear that he doesn't want to be friends. I'm not your friend, or we're not friends. So,
that's fucked up.
yeah, it is.
You should
Oh,
start doing little cat-like female things and trying to out him out of the group.
you mean be passive aggressive?
Yeah. I mean, basically just plot against the guy and do every single thing that you can.
I don't know. I'm
And
not much for plotting socially.
oh, just be funny.
It could be. I mean,
Maybe he has PTSD.
he might. He might from training. It seems like he's had like not a great life. But even though I can understand that, I would never take that out on someone else in a social situation. I'm usually pretty welcoming to people. Not everyone, certainly, and there have been times where I wish I had been kinder to people who are social outcasts. But this guy made it his goal to be an asshole to me for no good reason.
So he said that he's not your friend that one time, and he tried to like box step with you. I don't even know what that is, but like you were
It's
high.
like when you dance with someone and you like left foot forward, left foot back, right foot back.
That's like some '50s shit, kind of,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, basically. Should we learning cotillion? It's
What's
like trying to.
cotillion?
It's where you learn how to dance in like middle school. You
Oh,
go.
I never had that.
Okay, well, I had to go do it. It's like a southern thing.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Uh, and then what was the other encounter that was bad aside from the dancing and the I'm not your friend?
uh, it wasn't bad. It was the first time that I met him, which was
Just
when
drinking.
yeah, when he came and told everyone that he was going to have to go to Afghanistan. It was like a tearful sort of goodbye.
And then every other time in which it's kind of just sort of awkward.
Yeah, yeah, it's just been sort of un. It hasn't been a very fun time. I'm just wary of him, like a cat is wary of a dog.
It's like that.
Yeah, it is. Like if he wants to be that way, I'll let him. I don't gain anything from fighting him or from